What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about Anaxa calculations and whether or not he is better or worse than Jade in the THerta team comp, as well as himself as a Hypercarry DPS. I'm going to be breaking down the numbers for a variety of teams, so if you are interested in Anaxa numbers and you enjoy this type of content, please let me know by liking the video, leaving a comment in the comment section below, and consider subscribing to the channel. Also, check me out on twitch.tv/iSUMMON. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. So the first team we're going to take a look at is THerta Anaxa on the win set with Tribbie. This is going to be the baseline for everything. Obviously, Anaxa on the win set is going to get more action advances because he does ult pretty frequently, resulting in more stacks for the THerta because he is going to proc Tribbie's follow-up attacks a lot more, which also procs more THerta stacks, and so on and so forth. You understand what I'm going with this. Anaxa's single target damage is going to be 450k. If you notice, we're doing single target here. This is actually Jade's numbers, and these are actually AoE numbers for Jade. That's why it's higher. Obviously, Jade does not do better single target damage than Anaxa, but because Jade's single target damage is so low, we actually calculated AoE damage for Jade for this scenario, but we're going to get to Jade's portion a little bit later on. Like I said, whenever you see 100% here is because we are using her, this particular section as the base. THerta's damage is about 2.5 million. Tribbie's damage contribution is about 1.9 million, so about 2. And if you add all of the damages of the three DPSs together, you get about 5 million. 14k damage per action advance for this particular team. And like I said before, this will be the base in which we're going to be comparing the rest of the 3 other teams we're going to discuss in this section of the video to. Now, the second team is going to be THerta with Anaxa in the damage set with Tribbie, and obviously if Anaxa is on the damage set, his damage is going to be a little bit better, only 2% better though. And then by switching this set from the win set to the damage set, you are going to be dragging your THerta down by about 60% and your Tribbie down by about 11%, and resulting in your team-wide damage decrease by about 7%. So if you were curious between damage Anaxa and wind Anaxa on a THerta team, then you already got your answer. Wind Anaxa is going to win all the time because you get more actions, you get more ult, and it's going to result in more ult and more stacks for the THerta, more follow-ups for Tribbie, more ults for Tribbie, more action advances for Tribbie. It's just overall better. It's like a well-oiled machine when everybody's getting action advance, follow-up, ultimate action advance. It just all works really, really well, and the win set enables a lot of that. Now we take a look at Jade teams. This is THerta with 134 speed Jade and Tribbie. Her damage contribution is about 772k, 139% increase, obviously because we are taking into consideration the AoE portion that Jade does. The THerta's damage contribution to this is about 1.8 million. Obviously, the damage discrepancy between THerta and Anaxa is going to be very, very apparent because Anaxa is contributing 50% damage bonus to the entire party. So it doesn't only affect the THerta, it also affects Tribbie. And this is going to be very apparent when we look at Tribbie's numbers, which we're going to see. So off the bat, THerta's single target damage numbers are going to decrease by about 25%. And part of this is the 50% damage bonus that Anaxa is contributing. Same thing with Tribbie. Tribbie's even worse. With this 50% damage drop off, you get about 30% damage drop off from the base of the win set, and about 18% or 17% damage drop off from the damage Anaxa. In a team like this where there's not a lot of damage bonuses going on, 50% damage bonus actually goes a long way, as you can see. The total damage for the whole team is about 4 million. Damage per action events is 11, and it overall is about a 19% damage drop off in team performance if you just swap Anaxa for Jade, if you have your Anaxa on win set, and a 12% damage drop off if you swap if you were on the damage set. At the very worst, you have a 19% drop off. At the very best, you have a 12% damage drop off. But looking at a slow THerta with Jade, obviously THerta's numbers are going to be a lot better. She gets a little bit more attack with her attack boots, and THerta's and Jade's speed buff gets her a little bit more action, so obviously her numbers are going to be a lot better. Jade's numbers are going to be a lot less, damage contributing a little bit less. THerta's single target damage is going to be a lot better, about 400k better. Obviously, she has attack boosts in this setup. Her damage is going to increase by about 13%, but obviously still lower than if you just run Anaxa here. Tribbie's numbers are affected a little bit because the damage distribution changes a little bit. So as Jade deals less damage, somebody else has to pick up the slack. So the residual damage is distributed between THerta and Tribbie. So Tribbie picked up a little bit of extra damage there. About 8% extra damage Tribbie picked up from the residual damage that Jade was supposed to do. And then the overall team performance increased by about 400k, gained about 1,000 damage per action value, which is okay, and resulted in about an 8% or 7% damage increase from the fast Herta. So even if you run slow Herta, you're still behind a damage Anaxa by about 5 to 6%, and you are behind a wind Anaxa by about 12%. Now you're going to have to judge for yourself if the 12% damage increase is worth the pulls for you. If you think the 12% overall team performance is going to push you to get over a better clear time, or a clear time that's up to your liking, and you think Anaxa is worth it, then by all means go ahead and go for it. Obviously, if you have the Herta and you do not have Jade, this is an astronomical increase in overall team performance and damage. So if you don't have Jade, I think Anaxa is a very, very strong pickup for you. If you have Jade, a little less of a strong pickup, but still a very, very good damage increase for your Herta team. These 5 columns are about Hypercarry Anaxa. The first one is Sunday Tribbie with 135 speed, 4.226 million single target damage for Anaxa. Don't worry about the 763% because it is comparing it to this one right here at the top, which obviously is a whole different team. But we can compare this one, the Sunday Tribbie, the 763%. We can compare it to the rest of them in the bottom. So keeping going on, obviously Herta is not on this team, so nothing to see here. Tribbie deals about 800k damage, 41% of the damage dealt, and for a total of 5 million damage. If you notice, the damage dealt by Hypercarry Anaxa on Sunday Tribbie is very, very similar to the Herta's team with Anaxa on it on Winset and Tribbie. So very, very close in overall damage on single target damage. Obviously, this is single target damage, chat. Obviously, in an AoE scenario, the Herta is going to blow everything out of the water. In single target scenario, Anaxa is very, very comparable to what the Herta is right now. Like the margin of difference here is less than 1%. It's about 0.5% of how close it is. The next team is Sunday Tribbie with 141 speed and Dance 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 Abuse with Tribbie and or Sunday. Obviously, the damage is going to be a lot less, 628% compared to the 763%. That's about 140% less. Tribbie is going to contribute a little more of the damage, but the overall team performance and the overall team damage is going to decrease by about, I don't know, 600k. So it's a little bit of a damage decrease here. All right, then this one's going to be Robin Sunday Tribbie, no sustain. The damage is going to be 4.4 million, 800% damage compared to the 763%. 538,000. I know it says Herta, but this is actually Robin's extra damage. Is when you see it on the screen in the game, it's going to be counted towards when Anaxa does the attack. But this is actually Robin's additional damage. It accounts for 21%. And then Tribbie single target damage, which is the additional damage plus the Tribbie's additionals and follow-ups and ultimates and stuff like that. This accounts for about 36%. And then the total damage for the team is 5.6 million with a 22% damage per action value and a total of 158% damage dealt. So no sustain, Robin Sunday Tribbie. Going crazy here. Obviously, this wouldn't apply to most people because most people are not going to be going no sustain, but it is an option that Anaxa has because he has an ultimate that allows him to interrupt enemies. All right, then this one is Sunday and Robin with 4.5 million, 825%. And you may be a little confused on why this one's 800 and this one's 825 when this is no sustain, has 3 people buffing Anaxa, so this one should be higher. I understand it looks a little strange, but the reason is the same thing that I've been saying. There's the total damage pool has been distributed differently now. Now you have 2 people to distribute it, so that means Anaxa is going to take a larger chunk of the pie of the damage. That's pretty much what it is. Out of the 5 million total damage, Anaxa took 4.5 of it, and then Tribbie took the last 500k. In comparison, the other team did 5.6 million damage. Tribbie took 700k of it, a larger chunk. Robin took 500k of it, a smaller chunk, and then Anaxa took 4.4 million of it. So hopefully that makes sense. It's distributed a little bit weirdly, not weirdly. It's cut up in smaller chunks or bigger chunks. In the case of Sunday and Robin, is cut up into bigger chunks, and one of the bigger chunks went to Anaxa because he's obviously the only DPS in the team. So hopefully that makes sense. But this team's overall performance just came up to about 101%, so only 1.5% better than the regular Sunday and Tribbie. So Sunday and Robin, Sunday and Tribbie, kind of similar actually. Sunday Robin coming up a little bit on top. So if you have a very, very strong Tribbie, or if you have Robin, you're kind of in the same ballpark. And then lastly, you have Sparkle and Sunday Zero Speed. This is the double action advanced Sunday Sparkle wombo combo that people do. I love that team in particular. This one came out as the underperformer at about a 35% damage drop off. Something to take away here is that Anaxa by himself can put some decent single target damage. Again, chat, this whole bottom section here that we were talking about, Hypercarry Anaxa, this is only for single target damage. If you are running Tribbie on the team, then your AoE or blast damage potential on the team dramatically increases. But for a single target scenario, for example, if you're fighting Hule, Anaxa is going to be a very, very strong character for Hule. But if you're fighting somebody like the Swarm, for example, that he keeps spawning more and more bugs, then it's going to be a little tougher if you don't have help from somebody like Tribbie, or if you don't run a team like Anaxa and the THerta together. Now you're going to have to judge for yourself if Anaxa is worth the 180 pulls for the little or the big upgrade that you're going to get by either getting him for your THerta team or getting him as a sole hyper carry DPS. Let me know what you guys think about the video. Put it in the comment section below. What do you guys think about Anaxa? And until next time, guys. See ya.